Okay, so we're recording. Welcome to our new coach call. And I have to tell you guys, I always get like so excited to talk to all the new coaches because for one, you guys are fresh and you're excited and you're ready to start something, maybe a little bit nervous. But if you haven't read the 5-second rule yet, you need to, because Mel Robbins talks about, that's the author, she talks about feelings of anxiousness or anxiety or like nervousness, and how you, in your body, your brain processes those feelings of anxiousness or anxiety the same way you process excitement, and like how you're just really looking forward to something. So those two feelings are the same process in your brain. So if you're ever feeling like, I don't know if I can do this, or I'm nervous to share, or I don't know if I'm going to be good enough, or I don't think I have what it takes, or whatever, any of these feelings, flip in your mind, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, start thinking, I am excited to share this. I'm excited to give this gift to others. And I'm excited to talk about my story, because even though it might feel a little scary and you might be telling yourself it's scary, if you can instead say, I'm really excited to share that part of me and to give someone else that gift, to give them the opportunity to feel like they're not alone in their journey, you'll start to feel your mindset change, and you'll start to see your mindset change. You'll start to see your life change. You'll start to give those, vulnerability is kind of an interesting thing. When we get vulnerable, we start to feel more accepted and open about the things that we're experiencing. And it's hard though, because in our minds, we think someone's going to say something. My friends are going to think I'm crazy. My family is going to tell me I shouldn't do that, or they're going to judge me, or whatever. But the funny thing is nobody is thinking that. Literally nobody. Maybe one person who's got their own issues, but most people are not thinking that. Most people want to love and support you, and they want what's best for you, and they want to help you, or they want to be there for you. And the same goes for us, okay? So if you're ever feeling like, I don't want to share that part of me, or I don't want to tell people that I'm like working on myself, I just want to do it and then show them after. If you open up during the process, I promise you'll have more support. And I feel like I'm like a squirrel right now because I have a lot of thoughts going through my brain. But before I move forward into like what I have really prepared for you guys, I think life is kind of a funny thing. We always think we have to go through things on our own and do it by ourselves, because that gives us that autonomy, and that gives us that like we can do it kind of a thing. But life is not meant to be done alone, you guys. Emotions, feelings, experiences, they're not meant to be done alone. And so if you're in this situation thinking like, okay, I'm just going to do this by myself, you can't, and you won't. And that's why we have each other. That's why we have this amazing community. You're never going to be alone on this journey. So I want to start out with that. You will always, for one, have me, and you'll always have our whole team, our whole crew. You have basically signed up into a huge family who wants to just hug you, support you, do everything they can to give you all the things that you need. So you're never alone, and know that we're all here to help you on your way. If you're ever feeling like, gosh, I don't even know what I'm doing, I don't know how to get started, you need to ask for help. Okay, you need to reach out, grab someone's hand, and get help and ask them for that help. And sometimes, I will tell you, sometimes I'll be like the mom and I'll say, I'm so glad you asked for help. Here's where the answer is. I won't always give you the answer. I want you to learn to grow and to develop those leadership skills. But we'll always be here to help you. And we're never going to make you do it alone. And that's, I think, the best part about it. I remember, do we have any teachers on this call? Okay, well, if you're not, it's fine, but you'll still understand. When I was a first year teacher, you go to like 5.5 years of school to become a teacher, to get paid like nothing, here in Utah at least. But you go to 5.5 years of school, you learn all of these things, and then you go into the classroom. You don't have really hardly a curriculum, because most of the time you're like jumping into a grade or a class that you weren't preparing for in your schooling. And you jump into this classroom, you have no curriculum, you have no idea what you're doing. They can't teach you classroom management. They can't give you some PDF and tell you exactly what to do, like in this situation with this certain kid and blah, 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 blah. That is something you learn as you go, okay? The nice thing about being a teacher is you have whole school teachers who want to help you. And that's really how it is in the Beachbody world too. Okay, you come into this team, you know what social media is, but you don't really know how to use it to grow your business, or how to do it authentically, or how to not be spammy or salesy. And we're all here to help show you the way. And so that's the nice thing. You're never going to be having to figure it out all on your own. That's why we have our training, and that's why we're having this call. So the first thing I want to start with is you have to just start, okay? The thing that holds people back the most is thinking too much about making it perfect. It is never going to be perfect, and it's never going to look the exact way you want it to. I think the very best coaches and the very best messages that I see on social media are the ones where people just share authentically. So what I want you to do today, if you haven't already, some of you probably have done this, but if you haven't already, I want you to write, in your notes or on a piece of paper or whatever, why you became a coach. You're not writing this on social media yet, okay? So just grab a notebook, and I just want you to brain dump. Just write down all the things, like, why are you here? What made you think, I really think this could be incredible for my life. This could be an incredible opportunity for my family. I need that support in my journey. List all of those things that really hit your heart and kind of helped you leap into this coaching business, okay? And then after you've wrote those things, I want you to just transfer it into a post. So take a sweaty selfie, or take a cute picture, or get a picture of your family or something that's important to you. And I want you to be in it, okay? Because this is about you. This is about your journey. And I want you to kind of get vulnerable and open up and share a little bit about your story. And I don't want you to go onto your social media and be like, hey y'all, I became a coach, and then not tell anyone anything about why, okay? I want you to really share, like, what is most important to you, and why is this something that's going to make a difference in your life, and why did you even decide to coach? Where are you at right now? And if there's something going on in your life and you're like, I don't want to tell everyone about that, you don't have to get super specific, you guys. You can talk about struggles and trials without sharing what they are, okay? You probably have seen that a lot on social media, but I think when you open up and you share who you are authentically, there is no way anyone's going to think you're spammy, salesy, fake, whatever, okay? If anything, everyone's going to lean into you and buoy you up, cheer you on, support you. It's when we keep it really just plain, and we don't talk about what we feel and what we want and how this is going to impact our family's lives, that people start to be like, why is she talking about this? Why is she sharing this? So we have to really talk about the why. So the first thing you need to do to get started is just start and really focus on the most important things. So all of you guys are going to be crafting a post today, or this weekend. You can share it today or tomorrow or whenever you feel most comfortable. And the next thing I want to say is you need to be doing just the most important things. How many of you have printed off or got copies of this Success Club System Tracker? Okay. This is a blank one. I just turned my page. Okay. This is the exact layout of everything that you need to be doing every single day. Okay. And what I want you to think about, this might look like a lot. Like, this is a full page of stuff. next to all the things, there's a time limit. Okay. So I really want you to try and follow that time limit as you're getting into the habit of doing these things every single day. So like the first one, a lot of us got on this morning and worked out together. So you've already done half of that first box. So you can check off, okay, on Saturday, I did my workout and I'm going to have my Shakeology for breakfast. And then you're going to come in here and you're going to do some, and I want to talk about what all these are. That's where I'm going right here. But you're going to start to initiate connections and add followers. So what does that exactly mean? What I want you to do is think of a company, a topic, something that you love, like it could be a sport or shopping or a store or whatever it might be, something that you love, something that really resonates with you, that is something that is a part of like who you are. Like for me, I'm obsessed. This is not something I should say on a new coach call, but I love cookies, like love cookies. So this is also something I should probably not say, but I go to Crumble. If you guys are from Utah, you've been to Crumble. I know you have, or like Chip, or I mean, what are the other ones? There's so many cookie stores here. It's the best. That's why I live here. No, I'm just kidding. But go to that Instagram and then go to one of their recent posts or an older post, and I want you to see who's commenting or liking their posts. Those are the people who are, one, active on social media and they're actively being social, and two, those are people that are your people, right? Like they like cookies too. They like to be social on social media. They like to make friends on, like, those are the types of people that you want to be connecting with. So go and add those people, make them your friends. Like, girlfriend, you like cookies, I like cookies, we need to be friends. Okay, so that's what initiate connections and followers is. That's all it is. And then start to just interact with them. Like if any of them accept your friend request or following whatever, if they follow you back and they're private, you can start to go and comment on their pictures. Just be a good friend. That's all connections is. And that's the best part about this business, is basically we're expanding our friendships. And it's so fun. And I think about all of the people I've met through social media, like Carly, for example. Like we kind of met through a common friend, but we would never have met if it hadn't have been for social media. And I feel like we've become really good friends, even just like we've never even met in person. And I'm going to probably cry when I meet her in person because she's like the sweetest person in the world. But that's kind of like exactly what you have to think of this is you're just building friendships with other people. Okay. If it ever feels fake or inauthentic to you, you're going towards the wrong crowd. Okay. So you always want to be targeting or looking at accounts that resonate with who you are in your core. Like if you love cookies, like I love cookies, then you need to go to those accounts. If you love fashion and design, you need to go to fashion and design accounts. Like I've been doing a lot of like home design and accounts like that because we moved into a new house and we've been looking for furniture. So it can change all the time. Just think about the things that you're most interested in, go to those accounts and start building connections there. We already talked about doing a post. You guys need to be, and maybe you're thinking like, I never post on social media. Like that would be weird if I start posting every day now. It really wouldn't. Nobody will know. Nobody will think differently, because even though your friends and family will start to see those posts, they're going to love it because they're going to be able to now follow what you're doing. And you're also building these connections and building your network and growing your following. So all these people don't know any different. Remember how I said we sometimes think too much about what other people think or if they're going to accept it? Nobody is thinking about you. They're all thinking about themselves. They're all worried about who's going to say or whatever. So don't worry so much about what other people might think. Really think, what can I offer other people? What am I passionate about? Sometimes when you're posting, it might just be for fun. It might be to make someone laugh. It might be to make someone cry. Like laugh so hard they cry. It might be to share something that has been on your heart lately. It might be to invite them to a challenge group and to work on their journey with you. But all of these things, as you're sharing this, it's going to draw your tribe to you. Okay. So those are kind of the things that you need to think about when you're posting is like, what is my purpose? And when you're posting with purpose, it's never going to feel fluffy and it's never going to feel forced. It's going to, you're going to be able to go to your feed, to whatever, like your page where people would go to see who you are. And you're going to look at all these posts and you're going to be like, that is me. That is a true representation of who I am, what I feel, the things I care about. Maybe it's your dog. Maybe you've got, pictures of you and your girlfriends. Maybe it's got you and your kids and your husband or your partner or whoever. And it's going to be all these thoughts and feelings that represent who you are as a person. And that will include also like some of your journey. Like I really challenge you to share the journey that you're on and open up about the struggles or the successes even that you're having, and really help people to see like what's possible for them. I know that was a huge, huge deal for me when I became a coach. You guys, I had no belief that anything like this could work for me. Like literally, I was working full-time as a teacher. I was also the volleyball coach. I had a 2-year-old and a 4-month-old. And I felt like I was living in that Groundhog Day movie, the worst movie in the whole world, where it like repeats every single day. And no matter what you do, you can't get out of it. That's how I felt. And I mean, I love Bill Murray. I do. I think he's the best ever. But that movie like haunts me because I felt like I was living Groundhog Day over and over again. I would wake up at like 4 a.m., shower and get ready, get my kids ready, both of them, because my husband had to leave at like 5 a.m. to go to work. And that stressed me out so much. And then I'd go drop the kids off at 6:30 at daycare. They would both be crying, begging me not to leave them. And that ate at me so much. And I remember it was a December morning. I got online and one of my girlfriends, like before I even had Libby, had invited me to be in a challenge group. And I was like, girl, do you know I'm pregnant? I am not working out right now. Like that was not a priority of mine at all. And I was like, yeah, reach out to me after I have this baby. Well, she did. And I said, no. I was like, no, I need like actual accountability. This isn't going to work for me. I had no belief in myself. Okay. And then that December morning, I saw her post about the business opportunity. And she shared even just a small snippet, like how this business was helping her pay for their groceries. I don't even remember what it was. It was something small. And I think I like broke down crying and I was like, I need this in my life. We were living paycheck to paycheck. We were pulling money out of our savings. Like we weren't even living paycheck to paycheck. I had sold my car a few years before after we had Jackson. And so we had a bunch of money in our savings from that car. And we were like slowly dwindling. Like it got down to like almost like, I don't even want to say it because it was like scary to me, but maybe not to others. And at that point, I like messaged her right away and I was like, okay, sign me up. I had never done an at-home workout. I had never drank Shakeology. I had never drank any kind of a protein shake. I thought they were bogus. And I didn't even honestly know what I was signing up for. I just saw her doing something different and making a difference for her family. And I thought if she can do that, I know I can do that. And I will do whatever it takes because I do not like this feeling I have right now. And that's where a lot of people are at in their lives. And you have to be willing to share that for anyone to be like, okay, I'm exactly where you're at, or I have been where you were and I want to be where you are now. Okay. So that's why it's so important to share, even when it is a little bit scary, even when you're worried about what like 1 or 2 people might think, because there's always going to be 1 or 2 people, right, who might say or think something. And that really is unfortunate, but that's just human nature in its life. And we have to think about the 500 people who are going to be so grateful or want to join you or have, they need that game changer. They need the opportunity in their lives to change their lives. So That's why it's so important to create and post every single day, because not everyone's going to see your post. We know how social media is kind of crazy like that. So we have to post consistently every single day and share, you know, those things on our stories too. And stories allow for us to get vulnerable, or even just like share the real stuff behind the pictures, because the pictures are going to look pretty and they're going to look fun. And sometimes people don't even read the words that you put on there, but when they watch your stories, they hear your voice, they learn who you are and what you're passionate about. They see your struggles, they see how you're overcoming them. They get to hear some of the personal growth you're going through. Like, stories are really awesome. So I highly encourage, if you haven't been doing your stories, start today and just start sharing like some of the most simple things, like, got my workout in, it was so good, this is what it is, I want to show you guys what it looks like. And you can go through your Beachbody on demand, and you can share kind of what your nutrition looks like, and you can talk about your day and how it fits into your day. It doesn't have to be anything super fancy. Like, sometimes I look at stories and I'm like, oh my gosh, these guys have like all this stuff, like all this awesome, cute stuff, and I don't have that. Don't worry. You don't have to have all that. You just have to be real. You have to be real and be willing to help people see what's possible for them. Okay. So that's the next section, the stories. And then the rest is really like super simple stuff. I would say like the most important thing after that is inviting people to do it with you. Now, some of you probably are like, oh, like, I don't want to do that. That sounds so scary. Or like, what if they say no? They're going to say no. Like, statistics say that like if you invite or talk to like 100 people about this opportunity, 10% of them are going to ask for more information, and only 10% of that 10% are going to actually join you. So say you invite 100, 10 of them are going to want more info, and one of those 100 people are going to actually join you. So if you think about the statistics and you have goals set in your mind, like, I want to help 3 people a month, you better be inviting at least 300 people every month. Okay. I always tell my girls, go for 100 every single week. Like, that is a really good goal. That's like 20 people a day-ish. And it's just a really, I think it's a good goal to have if you're really wanting to grow. Okay. And by grow, I mean like grow your business, grow your team, grow your impact. And as you help your team get started, say you have girls jumping onto your team and you're sharing this with them, think about the impact you guys can make together. We as an individual person can only help so many people, right? But together, oh gosh, sorry, my little guy's trying to FaceTime me. He's in Universal. He's at Universal Studios this weekend with his grandma. So, but think about the deeper impact you can make when you're doing it as a collective group, right? Like, that's incredible. Like, we can only do so much as one person, but together we can do so much more, and we can help so many more people. Okay. So after you do your invites, and I want to just say, like, invites don't have to be anything super long. I think the shorter and like the better. So an invite could be like, you know, you're on your stories, you're posting about it, all that stuff. So anyone who's watching your stories or who you've been connecting with and you found them on that cookie website or whatever, and you feel like they're like your tribe, you just send them a quick message and be like, girl, hey, I don't know if you've seen, I'm running this group that's starting next week. We're starting prep. It's a 100-day challenge. I don't know about you, but I'm super excited about it. I've never done anything like this, and it would be super fun if we did it together. Okay. That's a really simple invite. That's something you can send to your best friends, to your family, to your siblings, to anyone that you've been chatting with or talking to on social media, people who are watching your stories. Like, hey, I don't know if you saw my stories, but I'm starting this group. I am so pumped about it. Is this something that you would want more info about? Okay, super simple and short and sweet. Okay. All right, and then after you've sent all your invites, and you know, a week later or a couple of days later, you have to follow up. The fortune is in the follow-up. So those are things that you absolutely have to be doing. And I just want you guys to know, like, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. It doesn't have to be anything long or stressful. I think the hardest part is having a plan. So one of the things I like to tell my girls, and I have a lot of scripts and just not even necessarily scripts, but examples. in our team page, and I know Micah does in Team Inspiration, if you're not in my team page, about like how to respond when someone asks for more info. And I'm happy to give you guys all that stuff. And then also what to say if they're like, no thanks, I'm not interested, like how to give them a free workout, or how to give them something so they don't feel like you're just trying to sell them something. If we're always willing to give, people will be willing to receive. And then as they follow you and they try that free workout and they're watching you crush your goals and they're seeing you like with so much enthusiasm and excitement for your journey, even if you're not to where you want to be yet, they're going to be like, hey, I need to be a part of that amazing community because it looks awesome. Like they're all tagging each other on their stories. It looks so fun. They're all working out on Saturdays. They're all doing all these fun things. I need that in my life. And as you get immersed into the community and as you do all the things that we're teaching you and training you to do, I promise you, your team will grow. Your impact will grow. You're going to help so many people every single month. You just have to be willing to get a little uncomfortable, sharing like what you're doing, talking about the things that you care about, sharing and inviting to your challenge groups and to coaching and to all these things, and everything will start to really flow well for you. Okay. All right. The last thing I want to talk about is Emerald. So we have a call on Monday talking about what Emerald is. Now, some of you are probably like, what the heck? What's Emerald? Or, yeah, I know what Emerald is and I wanted to hit that 2 months ago or whatever. So Emerald is the very first rank in the business, and that's basically helping 2 people get started as coaches on your team. Sorry. I'm going to call him back right after this. So that is what we're going to be talking about and giving you tips and like all the ideas to hit Emerald in 24 hours. Emerald is so easy and it's such a quick win for you to get excited and to get your team rolling and to start talking about how you've hit this first rank in the business. And it really validates to others like, okay, this girl's serious. She just hit her first rank in the business. She's only been a coach for a week. Like that looks fun. And that's, I think rewarding yourself and hitting that rank is really exciting because number one, it opens up your business. Like you did open up your business, but it opens up the opportunity for you to make a residual income. And I don't know about you guys, that's why I joined. Because I was like, I want to make a deeper impact for my family. I want to help people. I love to teach. I love to learn. I love to like just always constantly be evolving as a person and to expand my network and to have friendships and all these things. And that's what I think everyone in the world wants. We all want deeper friendships. We all want a healthier life. We all want to feel our best. And that's what we have to offer people. And the hardest part is getting people past their excuses or past their limiting beliefs that they can change their own life if they're willing to work for it. Okay. So we're going to talk all about Emerald on Monday. And I really hope you guys are planning to get on that call. It's at 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. I posted the graphic in our team page, but if you're not an Emerald coach, or even if you are an Emerald coach, I want you on that call because that's always my goal, is to hit Emerald every single week. Okay. And Emerald is so easy to do. It's just 2 coaches. And I know some of you are even already there or halfway there. So it's going to be so fun to be able to shout you guys out next week and get our entire crew hitting Emerald and Emerald and Emerald over and over and over again. And when you do that, you'll be at Diamond, you'll be at Star Diamond, and that's how you grow your business. It's just Emerald over and over again. Okay. What questions do you guys have for me? I'm going to open it up. If you have a question, you can unmute yourself or even like a comment or whatever. But yeah, definitely unmute yourself, or if you can't talk, you can type it in the chat. I know some of you are at work or at the doctor or whatever, working it in the cracks. You know what I mean? That's how we get it done. That's how I did it in the beginning. Do any of you guys work full time?
Me.
Yeah. So let me just say, if you're working full time, that's awesome. Like that's how I worked full time for 2.5 years when I first started coaching. And it's totally possible. The most important thing I can tell you is the hustle right now is worth it in the end. And it's going to feel like chaos, and it's maybe not going to be, well, I'm not super organized. I wish I was. Maybe you are more organized than I am, which is great. But I honestly just hustled in every single crack of my day. I'd wake up earlier than my kids. I'd work when I walked to the bathroom, literally. Like I'd be like on my phone responding or writing a post or doing a story or whatever. I would work during my lunch. So I had half an hour for lunch that I would work. And then I would finish my work up and then stay an hour after work and pick up my kids an hour later. So that's really how I fit it in. I would work like 2 hours a day on my Beachbody business. And as you do that consistently and you're really intentional and you're not doing any like fluffy stuff like scrolling or getting distracted or whatever, if you're super focused and intentional and you know exactly what you need to do and you're doing these things every day, you guys, it's incredible how quickly your business will explode. Okay. All right. So anyone have questions? Sorry, I'm like a talker this morning.
I have a question. It might be dumb.
There's no dumb questions. I always tell my students that, even though sometimes they work, but I'm sure yours isn't.
Yeah, that's what I say. But how did you get okay with being done teaching? Because I think that's my biggest thing is that I have worked so hard for where I'm at.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm drained and I'd rather be doing this, but I don't know how to walk away. Like, I don't know if I can. That's really my biggest thing. Is like saying goodbye to something
at all. Like as you like say like your business met your income as a teacher,
mm-hmm.
that's one thing that like I couldn't give up. I was like, well, like our family needs the income I make right now. So if I were to match that, then I could leave. Do you feel like you would have the opportunity to just like go part-time or decrease your hours? Because that would be something like,
yeah.
if you really just like love what you do, you don't need to stop doing what you love. Like I would never tell anyone, like, if you love your job, do your job. Like that's awesome. And you can do that. If you want to just like decrease your hours and that works for you, then you could do that too. But for me, like that was one of the reasons, like I matched my income in about 1.5 years in. And then at 2 years, I like quadrupled my teaching income and I still worked. Like I still worked for another like 8 or 9 months, I think, because I just enjoyed it. Like it was something I loved and my kids were in a different place. Don't be sorry. I think it's hilarious. My kids were in a different school. They were a little bit older. So they were like in school, they were in preschool and kindergarten. And it was still kind of like, we could do it. But once we knew we wanted to have another baby, I knew I needed to quit. I needed to be home. And that was like what pushed me to quit my job. But I could have quit it 1.5 years into my business if I wanted. I just want you guys to know it's possible to do both. Like it's possible to work full time and be an incredible coach. Like really you can be a full-time coach and make a full-time income on part-time hours, like 2 to 4 hours a day. But that's if you're doing the things you need to be doing specifically and not like wasting any time. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like, is that something that you want? Do you want to keep working?
Not necessarily. That's all I've ever done. So
you're more thinking like, at what point can you quit your job?
Yeah. So that's more or less.
That's different for everyone. If you only need a certain income, I would quit. Like I would have like an income goal. Like at what income in your Beachbody business do you need to meet to be able to quit your job? And then once you get to that point, then you can start to think. But you got to be smart. Like I would never tell someone who's like supporting their family with their full-time income to like quit their job so they can grow their Beachbody business. You can do them all. Okay. So don't like put your family in any kind of sticky situations.
Just up and quit.
Yeah. Good question. Thanks for asking.
Yeah.
Okay, anyone else? Oh, let me see. Do you use an app to schedule IG posts? No, so Rachel, that's a really good question. What I do on IG, did you guys know that you can like save drafts of posts? So for one thing, before that was a thing, like when I was working full time, that wasn't even like you couldn't save a draft. So I would write all my posts out. Like I would plan posts and like write topics and things. I think on Saturdays or Sundays for the coming week. And I would then like snap pictures and put that post with those pictures so that it didn't take me an hour during the week when I didn't really have a lot of time while I'm working and being a mom and all that to then post and write my posts out. So I would have these posts written and then I could just copy, paste, put it into with a picture and go. And that was something that I had to like actually be really clear with my boss at my job, because one time she saw my post go up during the workday and she asked me, she's like, are you like spending time at work doing your Beachbody stuff? And I was like, oh no, actually I write all these posts out on Sundays and then have them saved in my phone and I just post them on my lunch break. And that's what you're seeing. She was like, oh, that's really cool. Like I just was curious if you were using that time during your workday to post. And I was like, and so you have to be good at communicating. If that's something that your boss or that like is going to be a questionable thing for your job, same goes with your stories. Like I would never, I don't even remember. I don't even think stories were a thing when I was working full time, but if they were, I would never like do stories during my work hours because I would want my boss to know like I'm committed to my job and I'm not like wasting time at my job on my side hustle. So just be really smart. Another thing I like to do for stories is I take video using like just my camera on my phone, just like my normal camera. And then later, like I do this like when we go to theme parks or when we go on vacations or things, and I'll post them later in my stories, not necessarily like the exact time that it's happening. And I also think it's a better quality video. So that's kind of a little trick too. So I just use the normal camera, normal video, and then post it later on my stories when I have time or like right after work. If that was what I was doing, I would just like take some stories in the morning, get them posted, then after work, do some stories, and then at night, do some stories. Like you don't have to be on your stories all day long. Maybe like during your lunch break, post your lunch, like your healthy lunch or something. And after work, talk about like how excited you are to get going on your, like just little things, you know, about your life and how you fit it in and stuff like that. But yeah, I think that's really smart, Rachel, to not have your phone, like be on your phone all day in front of your kids. So if you can, like at night when they're asleep, write some of these posts out. And I always feel like I think like about the things that are most important to me, like when I'm laying in bed or when I like right before I fall asleep or in the shower. Like I am a really good thinker in the shower for some reason, probably because it's like the only time my kids aren't like pulling at my heels. So just writing things out or having them planned out and then posting them later, I think is really helpful. There are posting apps that you can use. Planoly is one, Planoly, if you're wanting to plan out your posts. That is an awesome free app. I think there is a paid version. I've never used it to actually post though. I've just used it to plan, and I don't use it right now, but I have in the past when I've needed to really plan out my posts. And it helps you to see like what it would look like on your feed too. The rest is, and yeah, Rachel, you don't have to talk about the income if that's not something that you're feeling comfortable talking about right now. Even just like, you guys, even just talking about like how it pays for diapers or how it paid for a date night, that's a big deal. I don't know about you guys, but when I first started, like we couldn't go on trips. We couldn't go out on dates. Like we didn't have extra money. And so if you talk about those things, you'll help people who see the potential for them, who want that little extra bit of income. Like some people really just only want like $300 to $500 more every single month. And that is easy to do with this business, even just based off commissions. Okay. But the potential is so much bigger the longer you commit to being here. Okay. So don't just think like, oh, I'm going to just try it out for a few months and see how it works. You're not going to go anywhere, and you're not going to make that much money in a couple of months. I think in my first month, I made like $180. My second month, I made like 300. My third month, I made like 1,000 because it was a launch month. Like every month it's going to grow. And it went down, up and down that first month. I think like my first year, I made like 13,000 is all. Like that's not that much when you think about it as like, I was working probably 2 to 4 hours a day. Like if you count weekends and everything, but now like it's changed our lives completely. Like I can't even put into words what it's done for us now, but I almost quit my first year because I was like, is this really worth it? Like I'm busting my butt and I'm making like nothing. I'm working harder and longer at this and like taking time away from my family and not watching my favorite shows and not going out on weekends and blah, 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 blah. But now I look back, and now that I have all this freedom now, I'm like, okay, that sacrifice then was so worth it. If you haven't ever heard Scotty Hobbs' video, he's actually from Idaho, I think, but he just moved to Utah. Anyway, I know him a little bit, met him a few times, and I heard his story once. He spoke on one of Micah's calls. And so I watched his video. He has a lot of them, but I watched his story on YouTube. And that is what drove me. He's like $1 million earner every year. That's what drove me. And I don't even care to make $1 million. I just need to say that flat out. Like I could care less about making $1 million. All I care about is just supporting my family. Like that's like flat out, like the most important thing is like, can I make enough money to support my family and be home with my kids? Okay. So you have to think about what your goals are. But like when he shared his story and what he did to make it work, like he had to sell his Xbox, like all these things just to buy his challenge pack. Okay. You need to go watch his story if that's something like, I think it would be really inspiring to you guys. And I also have an awesome guest speaker on our team call later this month. So we have 2 team calls this month. One is this next Wednesday, right? Tuesday. I need to look at my calendar. I think it's Tuesday. Anyway, I'll be sharing stuff on this week's call, but then the 27th, we have a guest speaker, and she was actually in the corporate world and worked the business on the side. And she's going to talk about like her story and kind of how she found Beachbody and all that stuff. But I'm super excited. So if you're working full time, this is going to be an incredible call for you to get on at the end of the month, August 27th. Okay. But yeah, do you use a company to help build your following? Susan, I did initially use like a third service party to help grow my following, but I'm doing it more organically now. So I don't know what's better. Honestly, it's kind of like a learning curve for me that I'm still trying to figure out. But I would say organic is best. Even if you're going to get more, like if you need help growing your social media and you want to invest in that, I would recommend getting an assistant to do like the 5-3-1 method, or to just follow accounts, interact with them, talk with them, like to build those connections. I think it's going to be like the best way, because Instagram wants it to be a social platform. They don't want to see people using fake stuff or like bots and things to get likes, or I don't know, all those different things. So they'll favor the people who are doing it organically over the people who aren't. Okay, any other questions? All right, and if you need some ideas for how to track everything, we have a ton of resources in the team page for Instagram, and just so much. I don't want you guys to get overwhelmed. There's so much information, and that's why in the very beginning, I kind of told you guys, you just have to start. You just have to start sloppy. It's not going to always look pretty, but you're going to learn as you go. You're going to figure things out that work for you. You're going to learn a flow. You're going to learn what it looks like for you, the things that you like. You're going to try different things. Like, you just have to start. Okay. And if you need a good podcast to listen to, I'm obsessed right now with, and actually she's going to be talking on a team call with Micah this week that our team is invited to. But she is the cutest ever. And let me show you the podcast. It's called, she is Angie Lee. I think The Angie Lee Show. I don't know how to make it. Anyway, that's her. The Angie Lee Show. She's the cutest. She swears a lot though. So if you've got kids around, you'll probably want to listen in your headphones. So that's what I do, because my kids like always are eavesdropping on me. They like to be involved in everything. But like, I'm listening to this. I started at the top instead of like at her first episode, but I did listen to the first one. The first episode is gold, you guys. It's so good. But she talks about sales. She talks about like branding she talks about all of this, and it's amazing. And I'm actually really wanting to go to her Pays to Be Brave conference. It's in October, but it's like the week after our retreat. So I'm trying to find a babysitter before I commit. Anyway, she's hilarious and she's so fun, and she gives some incredible tips. And I highly recommend that if you're looking for a podcast to listen to for some personal development. Okay. All right, you guys, I've already chatted your ear off for like almost an hour now. Please commit right now to being on our Emerald in 24 Hours call on Monday at 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. I know for some of you that might be really early. For some of you that might be later in the afternoon. If you can't be on live, you need to commit to listening to the recording, okay? Because it is going to help you move your business forward. And I know that's why you're here. If you're on this call, that's why you're here. So I want you to commit to being on that and to doing the things that we teach you to do and hitting Emerald on Monday. You can do it. And I'm so excited for you guys to be there. If you want to hit Emerald this weekend, please message me and I will help you. I'll tell you all the things we're going to be teaching on Monday, and I will get you to Emerald this weekend. Well, we will get you to Emerald, because it's going to be you doing a lot of the work, but me telling you how to do it. Okay? I love you guys, and I'm so excited for you and this opportunity that you have in front of you. It's honestly a life changer if you let it be, but it does require hustle and it requires work. But I think every single one of you are capable of really incredible things. So I'm so happy for you and excited to see all that you guys do with this. If you ever have questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Okay? All right. We'll see you guys in the threads and the team pages, on the calls, and have an amazing weekend. Okay. See ya.